And now it's time for the Thamesmen.
Welcome. We are the Thamesmen.
Excellent.
Hey, Alex. So Alex is a bit miffed right now. He's a little bit touchy.
I am a little bit touchy for those people who haven't seen this high quality content TV program that we put out. We have a Wheel of Fortune, and the chosen track was our guilty song. So I stupidly went first with the song which I have a soft spot for.
He bared his soul.
I did it. I went first, and it was Mike Oldfield, Moonlight Shadow, and George just gave it the worst score you've ever seen.
It was better than Catch a Goo Goo.
That was yours. That was dreadful. That was really dreadful. Did anyone go and listen to that stupid Jennings track after you?
Mason Jennings, please. It's not a stupid.
Oh God, no. Did anyone go? Not an opportunity. Did anyone go and listen to it?
Well, Mason Jennings. I haven't checked the numbers actually, to be honest with you, because we only just released the video, I think, with it talking about it. So yeah, Mason Jennings.
I went and no, seriously, I went and looked.
Oh, did you? Anyone watched it?
No. Still shit.
You liked it at the time.
You didn't like my last song. You just gave it a 7.5 so now. All right.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So
what is your guilty song that you like to listen to when you are alone or in driving along, but you're too kind of afraid to tell people that you quite like?
Okay. It's Willie Nelson. Bit of country music.
Willie Nelson's great.
Well, exactly. But from where we come from, like owning up to liking country music is like something you don't really do, is it? You're like, you don't go, hey, I like country music. No, nothing wrong, because there are great musicians in country. And so it's a sort of guilty secret in that regard, if that makes sense. You know
and let's just, we have a split audience here from US and UK. And UK, you got to admit, you don't like country. Country makes no sense in England. No sense.
Not the same way.
You're stuck on the motorway. There's so much traffic there. You're going for a curry. You're doing this and whatever. I mean, it makes no sense. You come over here, and country music makes a lot of sense. There's wide open spaces, and there are cows.
Yeah, exactly. And my baby left me or whatever that. Well, that's blues. Sorry. Anyway.
That's blues. No, it's you're more pretty when you're drunk. Stuff like that, and we both moved to and Willie Nelson over here makes a lot of sense.
And Willie Nelson, honestly, this is actually like the guilty secret for me is a bit of country. Willie Nelson, because we know he's a rock star. And we'll talk about it more after the video. I saw him for the first time live last year, just pre-COVID. And at 87 years old, he freaking blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. And so anyway, we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's get on with the track, because it's a lovely track.
What track is it?
It is Always on My Mind, which has been covered by many people. Prior to him was Elvis, and some others did this. And but it's just
You're gonna cry.
It's a
gonna
sad
cry.
song. It's a sad
You're
song.
gonna cry. Is it? Does it remind you of pain?
Heartbreak and pain. Yeah, it does.
What hurt you so much that makes you like the song?
This isn't like some sort of couch here. Like, I know you bared your soul with Mike Oldfield. This is as far as we go here. Okay, so right. Are you ready?
I am.
Don't cry.
I'm not the one in pain here, George.
You are over Mike Oldfield. Right. Mike Oldfield's always on my mind. Are you ready?
Yes.
3.
Yes.
2.
Yes.
1. Go.
Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. If if I made you feel second best. Girl, I'm sorry I was blind, but you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. And give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. I'll keep you satisfied. Things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind.
Isn't that just amazing?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It's just like, just perfect little song, you know? It like, he's like, that's what music's about.
His timing, his voice, the tone. Oh, he was just in his element, wasn't he? He was brilliant.
Yeah, and just like, I think it. Like I said, I saw him last February, March, in 2020, just prior to lockdown. I was at the Houston Rodeo, which is, like, for those who don't know, is a huge event. It's like 22 nights in Houston. They do a full rodeo in this NRG stadium, and with like 80,000 people. And then, as the last rodeo event's finishing, they an automated stage drives out into the middle of the dirt, and it unfolds, and then they do a full concert. And every night is a different artist. And I was there for several of the nights, and one of the nights was Willie Nelson, and he's 89, I think.
No.
And I'll put up a couple of pictures I took. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I'll put them up anyway. And I walked onto the stage, and saw the stage set up and everything before they went on. And
Trigger.
And then in the guitar rack was Trigger, which, for those who don't know, is his guitar.
Tell people what about a Trigger, and
So Trigger is a Taylor guitar, I believe, with some custom.
It must be a Martin.
Was it Martin? And he had it forever, has it forever, and because it was designed to be an acoustic guitar, it had no pick guard, and so he plays a plectrum, and it's worn out a hole in the soundboard in the side just beside, and so it's got a big hole in it. But forever, he's having people like sign it and write their names on it and things like that. People he likes and respects and things like this. And this guitar is one of the famous guitars, and it sounds funky as hell, to be honest with you. But once he gets warmed up, he's 89, and once he started playing and warmed up, and it was a religious experience to watch Willie Nelson. And the lady on the piano, that's his sister, and he calls her little sister. And she is still playing with him in that video and now, and she's 2 years older than him. She was 91, and she still plays the piano. And they're just like, his sound, his voice is Willie Nelson. I mean, I cannot describe, for any friends in Europe who haven't really experienced Willie Nelson, go and watch some videos of Willie Nelson, watch some other stuff. He is, and all the things he's done, he's a huge activist. He did the Farm Aid. He's sort of like, he's for about the welfare of horses. He's like the whole thing about marijuana and about, the sort of legalization of that. He's got
his own biodiesel firm.
Yeah. He has a biodiesel like tour bus, doesn't he, and stuff like that.
Yeah. And for those Europeans who don't know, cowboys and pot go together. I never knew that. There are so many cowboy songs, and talking about being stoned. And Willie Nelson's a big component of that. I mean, the guy just will outdo Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, and he's what they call it. He's outlaw country is his style. That's his genre, is outlaw country. And so he's a bad boy,
two things. One about Trigger. I think it was Leon Russell. I think it was him. He said, "Nah, scratch the names in."
That's right. Yeah.
Because when we're all dead and gone, it's going to be worth a lot of money. So he's got scratched in on Trigger like Johnny Cash, Leon Russell, and he's got all these and they've scratched their name in on this guitar. And second of all, I do believe, and it has to be verified, he was the first person to put a pickup on an acoustic and play live.
Okay, all right, yeah. Right.
So no one, and I think it was Trigger as well. But apparently one time he got into a lot of trouble with taxes or whatever. And he got his manager to hide the guitar, or he went in, the FBI or whatever, or something. All the tax people went in, and he went out one door with Trigger and a pound of grass in his guitar or whatever. And that was it. And that's the one thing he's always saved.
I think something he said was like, if they take Trigger, that's me done, kind of thing. Yeah, that was.
Well, there were some guitars that from Greenie, from Peter Green, and to there's Blackie, and then there's the first strap that Gilmore had. But Trigger is one of those guitars. It's got a name, and it's as famous as the person. When I've seen it when they put it up on stage before Willie Nelson comes out. I haven't seen them. I was from videos I've seen. They put the guitar up, and people are just queuing up to take a photograph of the guitar. Before.
Well, I was lucky enough to go and take a photo of it, and just like you, I didn't want to touch it. It was just like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to take a photo, and it is like it's an icon. It's like a religious icon, really, And I mean, I did look him up today. I think he's got dates scheduled for touring again once we get past.
I can't go and see him every time tickets. He died. Right, because there was J.J. Cale. I got tickets for him. He died. And then there was Lou Reed, and I got tickets for him to go and see the Warfield. He died. And then Hawkwind, I thought there's too many of them. They can't get done. They didn't get a visa to the USA. So I'm just like, I can't get tickets to go.
Don't go and see anything, Alex. Just stay home. So, all right. So I think before we get into the scoring, I think we got to jump to a message from our sponsors. So just bear with us 1 second. We need to pay the bills, keep the lights on. So a message from our sponsors.
Your Cinzano Bianco, signora.
Thank you.
Ah, yes, gracias.
I'll do it.
No, mine was a Cinzano as well. Now that's better. Oh, can't you just smell those Italian wines? Suffused with herbs and spices from four
continents.
Why, being boring. Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right. Getting your head down, sweetie. Jolly good idea.
From the House of Cinzano, Cinzano Bianco.
Okay, right. So that was a lovely track. Thank you to our sponsors. And let's move it on until we get to our time to do some scoring. And that means it is
Wangers and bangers. Right. This is going to be tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Now are you going to take the high ground or are you going to take the low ground on this one?
Listen, I can see why it's a guilty track, right? It's cowboy country, which over here, we're both American, by the way. It works, but you can't admit to your European friends. It's not only that, it's a really sad, weepy country song as well about, so I can see that, if I had broken up with someone, I could see this just being on repeat in my bedroom for hours and me really getting into it,
Yeah. So what's the score, Mr.
I bet you can't answer this. Who wrote the track?
I did know it and I forgot. I'll be honest with you.
That person should get the score because what a song!
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But
it's coming in at it's Willie Nelson. It's a great track. It's a lovely track. It's coming at 8.
8.
Uh-huh.
Excellent. Well, because it's my guilty pleasure and because I can stand proud, I'm gonna go 8.8. 8.8.
What?
8.8.
All right, well, I'm changing my score. Mine's 7.5.
No, you can't.
Yeah. You cannot put an 8.8.
I can put an 8.8.
7.4 now.
No, you can't.
Yeah. 7. You
first scores. New rule. New rule.
7.3 and going down.
It's not an auction. It's 8.
No.
Who's editing this video?
No, it's not an 8.
Who's got the owner of the score?
You're at 16.6.
Oh, you're now the Mark II computer scoreboard, are you? Okay, so what do we say? So it's an 8. Let me just do this. 8.
I'm not giving it an 8 anymore.
8.8. Oh, look, it's a 16.8. Brilliant, excellent. Let's see where that goes. Oh, hold on.
You better not beat ELO.
I beat ELO. I'll be kind that it's the same score as Muse Hysteria, but I think
what
it is weirdly.
It's a cover.
So
Muse Hysteria, Muse, one of the biggest bands in the world.
I think Willie Nelson is bigger than Muse.
And ELO writing their own songs, and you got a cowboy covering a whim. Yeah. You've just made a total mockery of the Laser Scoreboard Mark II.
I think people will argue with you, and I think if people believe what are with me, please write it down below. Let's have some comments on this one.
Mike Oldfield.
Mike Oldfield, yeah. It was a lovely track. It was a
lot of the people are going to go with me and just say Alex won on the guilty track, because your track.
Right, that's okay.
Track was nice, but you've just gone and over polished the turd.
You're in cowboy country now. Be careful what you say.
Not a turd. It's an absolute
they have guns. They have guns.
All right. On that note.
Well, I think on that note, we need to find out what we're going to do next, don't we?
You're right. Absolutely. It's time for
Wheel of Fortune.
Hey, and
Wheel of Fortune.
Whilst the Wheel of Fortune was being wheeled out, we just had quite a vocal argument about 8.8. I am actually quite angry on that one.
Let's sleeping dogs lie. We will now pick another competition where you'll have a chance to redeem yourself, and on we go.
God almighty. You're like that kid if there's like one big piece of pizza or one small bit, you just grab the big bit and scoff it down and be... Right. Are you ready, Jim?
Are you ready, Jim? Let's do it.
This is going to detect. This is going to choose our next track. You ready?
3, 2,
yes.
1, go. this oiling will wear off at some point.
Guitar God.
Guitar God.
I've got an idea about that.
Okay, what's your idea?
I don't want to say it out loud. Let's keep it for ourselves for the next program to surprise our dedicated viewers.
Okay.
But it's going to be on a Guitar God.
Is
Maybe
it the
a
thing we've
die
been talking about?
Yes.
Is it that little
3-letter one.
mini-series?
Mini-series, 5, on a guitarist who's got 3 letters.
I think that's brilliant.
So we're going to do a 5-part series on Stevie Ray Vaughan. If you could put the tracks down there for George and I, the top 5 Stevie Ray Vaughan tracks you want us to react to making the top 5, we're going to make a mini-series on him because we were blown away by him.
And we had some great suggestions, and we've been dying for an excuse to do it. So this is our excuse. So that's
Right.
perfect.
Mini-series on Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Excellent. Send her out. Nope. It seems to have jammed. Okay. All right.
Back. Excellent. That's cheered me up after your diabolical, self-serving, self-interested, self-promotional score on your cover.
I think Willie Nelson's fans are going to have my back on this one. I think they're going to rise up and they're going to say "pa" to you. They're going to say
there's one bloody thing. Guilty songs coming off the Wheel of Fortune. I'm sorry, Chris, who suggested we do it. Guilty songs was a really bad idea. It's been nothing but controversial here. We're kind of split. It's not working. And now I feel embarrassed. You've embarrassed me on Mike Oldfield.
I'm glad you laid your soul bare, mate.
I loved that track. It was really good. I really, really enjoyed that.
Actually, both the tracks were great. They really were. They were lovely, really fun tracks. And really, really good. So,
So if you can like and subscribe, otherwise we'll keep on making these videos. If we get enough likes and subscribes, we'll stop. Otherwise, we're going to carry on.
I think you got it the wrong way around, haven't you?
You can't. It's win-win.
Just like and subscribe, and we'll be good.
All right. And then Stevie Ray Vaughan tracks. If you could put it down there, I'm looking forward to this one.
And also a suggestion of what we put in the segment on the Wheel of Fortune. Now we're going to get rid of Guilty Secrets. So yes. All right.
Right.
Let's wrap it up there. Enough malarkey. Enough whatever we do.
All right. See you until next time.
Next time. Later. Right.
Fucker. 8 point fucking you absolute. I gave it a decent score out of respect.
It's Will's
8.6.
Nelson, mate.
Mike Oldfield is a fucking guitar god.
So is Willie
From
Nelson.
Reading. Reading.
He's playing Trigger. It's like
He covered a fucking.
It's like Moses
did a cover.
It's like Moses playing a tune on the Ark of the Covenant. It doesn't get more iconic than that. Not the Ark of the Covenant was a great instrument, but it was, you know what I mean? It's like one of those sort of like, things.
8.6. Yeah, I mean, they are not as big as Muse. He can't pull a world tour like that. He can only do a tour in fucking Texas.
That's not true.
Him and ZZ Top, big in Texas.
Big in Texas. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like the Greeks. Fucking do not translate well. Right. Are we going to count us back at 8.6?
8.8.
Count us back in.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 3,